Jonathan, and from me, welcome to the programme.
Well, first tonight, the drunken prank that went tragically wrong, leaving a popular teenager dead.
Aaron Curtis from Norwich died after falling from the outside of a lorry as it travelled down the A11 from Norwich.
Well, today at the inquest into Aaron's death, the coroner warned other youngsters and their parents about the dangers of drinking too much. Well, Malcolm Robertson has been following the story, joins us now. Malcolm, it sounds like a terrible but completely avoidable tragedy, this.
Well, this was an absolutely horrendous incident that cost 18-year-old student Aaron Curtis his life in October last year, underneath the wheels of a lorry here on the A11. You can see just a few yards from the road a shrine that's been set up in his memory. It was on October the 23rd last year, Aaron's birthday. He was out celebrating. He'd had a huge amount to drink. He and a couple of friends were walking along Norwich's Ring Road when they saw a lorry pulling a trailer stopped at traffic lights. They decided to get on the towing frame between the lorry and the trailer, two of them to sit down, hopefully waiting for the lorry to slow down and get off when it stopped. Well, it didn't slow down, it didn't stop, and Aaron fell off on the A11 and was killed. Today, the coroner described it as a drunken prank that ended in disaster. For the family and friends of Aaron Curtis, this was a sad and painful day. Attending his inquest and hearing how he'd consumed a huge amount of alcohol on his birthday and was killed in a horrific accident. It was a teenage prank that went tragically wrong. Aaron Curtis, who'd just celebrated his 18th birthday, was with a friend in this area of Norwich when they saw a Mercedes lorry heading out of the city. They both climbed onto it. That friend, Andrew Kavanagh, on the left here, said they were very, very drunk and got onto the towing frame of a lorry pulling a trailer in the hope of getting a lift and getting off when it slowed down. But it didn't. The lorry took them along Norwich's Ring Road. They were then carried along the A11 out of Norwich for some 5 miles. Somewhere between the Thickthorn roundabout on Norwich's southern bypass and the junction for Ketteringham on the A11, he lost his grip and was dragged underneath the lorry. The driver was totally unaware of what was happening. Andrew Kavanagh spoke of the desperate attempt to try and prevent Aaron falling onto the road, but he couldn't pull him clear. Lorry driver Paul Roberts, in the striped shirt and glasses, said he became aware of a problem when a colleague driving behind him on the A11 flashed his headlights. When they looked under the lorry, Aaron was already dead. Just a few yards from the side of the busy A11, there's a shrine in memory of Aaron Curtis. Friends and family have left heartfelt tributes.
I think the family want to convey the message that you don't have to be drunk to have a good time, which is very fitting, not just for the road, but also the streets of Norwich at the moment. A sad loss to the family and a knock-on effect for 2 drivers that were involved as well.
What happened to Aaron Curtis has certainly caused a great deal of concern to those working in the road haulage industry.
Fortunately, it's a very rare incident. Obviously, unfortunately for the family, it's a tragic accident. But the people or members of the public need to be made aware that, that the visibility with the heavy goods vehicles is somewhat restricted, and people must appreciate that the vehicles weigh up to 44 tonnes and can potentially be very lethal.
There have been other incidents in our region which have had tragic consequences. Last year, 2 men died after tombstoning into the sea off Clacton Pier. In 2007, 2 boys died when they were struck by a train while walking down a railway track in West Norfolk. It's thought they may have been listening to music. This man had a lucky escape, losing just a shoe as he narrowly avoided being struck by a train at a level crossing in Essex. As regards the death of Aaron Curtis, Coroner William Armstrong said he died as a result of mindless and reckless behaviour fuelled by alcohol, leaving a family devastated over the loss of a teenager described in the inquest as popular and fun-loving.
Well, Malcolm, as we heard in your report, there's strong words from the coroner.
Strong words that must have been difficult for the family to hear, but the coroner said he would have been failing in his duty if he didn't make some comment about the amount of alcohol that Aaron had consumed. And I'm sure that will strike a chord with many parents worried when their children go out and celebrate a milestone in their life, an 18th birthday or a 21st.
And what sort of lad was Aaron, Malcolm? You said that he was popular and fun-loving.
Well, a lot of tributes on a social networking site to him. This from a former teacher who said that he was lively, curious, very caring and thoughtful. And this from his nan I thought was very nice. If there was a rock, you had to jump on it. Where there was a bridge, you had to jump off it. Where there was a hill I couldn't climb, you held my hand, for which I thank you. And of course his family tonight warning youngsters that you don't need to drink to excess to have a good time.
Powerful words. Malcolm Robertson, thank you very much indeed for that. Now, in other news, detectives investigating 2 robberies at travel agents in Bedfordshire have released CCTV footage. In the first robbery last month, a man dressed in a black burqa and armed with a knife threatened staff at First Choice Travel in Dunstable. He escaped with a substantial amount of cash. The second robbery took place 10 days ago at the Thompson travel agent in Luton. And once again, a man in a burqa armed with a knife stole a large amount of cash. Police are keen to hear from anyone who can help identify the men. Now, a shopping centre in Milton Keynes will be used as a scene of a mock terror attack tonight.
Thames Valley Police are reenacting a number of terrorist scenarios to test how to deal with a real incident. The whole event will be filmed and used for training.
So Emma Baker is on the scene for us right now. So, Emma, what's happening there precisely tonight?
Well, Jonathan, I'm in Midsummer Place shopping centre in Milton Keynes, all looking pretty calm and quiet at the moment. The shops have just closed, but as you say, in just a couple of hours, this is going to be the backdrop for a mock terrorist attack. And this is all part of Project Griffin, which is an operation by police to raise awareness about the terrorism threat. And I'm joined now by Chief Inspector Steve Bridges, who's going to be heading up this incident tonight. Steve, what exactly is going to be happening here tonight?
Well, we've got about 120 volunteers coming down to see us to take part in the illustration of what happens should a chemical attack take place. So we'll have some people feeling sick, we'll have some running away, just trying to make people aware of what they might actually see should a real occasion arise.
Now, you're going to be videoing this. What exactly? I mean, that's quite unusual to video this, and you're going to be using it in training. Tell us more about that.
Well, it's to support a lesson plan with regards to a chemical attack as part of a wider response. And what we want to do is to show for the first time on a police basis what people will actually see, so they can relate should it ever happen for real.
Now, you say for real. I mean, how realistic is it? How real is the terrorist threat to a shopping centre like this here in Milton Keynes?
Well, there's no direct evidence to say that we're going to have any kind of attack in Milton Keynes, but we should always be prepared. Now, in terms of the crowded places, a shopping centre fits that bill entirely so. So it's quite right that we ought to have this type of thing ready so that people who work in the business community can actually be prepared should anything happen for real.
OK, thank you very much. Well, if this all goes to plan, this actual video is going to be created here. It's going to be used in training sessions around the country. I will be here later on to see exactly what happens, and I'll bring you a full report in tomorrow's Anglia News.
Look forward to that. Thank you, Emma.